Hello. I'm here today to talk about men's work, a shared journey. Before I begin that, I want to share my journey with you. Let me set the scene. Let me take you back. This young boy, born in Dublin, Ireland. No brothers, no sisters, no father, and a mother working tirelessly to keep the lights on and put food on the table. I grew up on a council estate in Dublin. I learned very quickly that it wasn't a safe place to share your feelings or your emotions. At 11 years old, I created a rule I lived by that nearly killed me. Have no feelings, show no emotion. Have no feelings, show no emotion. I didn't know it back then, but statistics and studies show that born into a single-parent family with the absence of emotional support has more prevalence to turn into alcoholism, addiction, criminality. That was the studies. That was the statistics. That's exactly who I became. I was living in a statistic. My first time I took alcohol, I was 10 years old. At 12, I was hospitalized from drinking myself unconscious. At 13 years old, I took my first line of cocaine. And I learned very quickly I could buy a bigger amount, and the bit that I didn't use, I could sell. I looked for mentors, guides, and role models. They weren't hard to find. Men with prestige, with respect, with fear, who were known. Who were these men? These were criminals, drug dealers, and gangsters. I thought these men were exactly what it was to be a man. It's what I wanted to become. That's exactly who I became. I want to say something very serious here. The most important part is, my story is not unique. The only unique part about my story is that I'm alive and I'm here telling it. A lot of my friends are dead by suicide, drug overdose, murdered. Some are in jail for murder, some are on the run for murder. That was the reality. That's what I grew up around. I was lost. I was out of control. But for me, for the people I was around, career criminals, this was normal. This lifestyle was normal. Looking back, I clearly know it's abnormal. I'd like to say things took a turn and I changed, but things got a lot worse. I first got arrested at 13 years old. It led to a string of arrests for assault charges. I was court ordered to do a urine test once a week at 19, cheating the system. I had a serious drink problem. Court ordered anger management. I had 3 attempts in my life, knife crime, nearly stabbed to death. This was my reality. I'd still like to tell you that I turned around in that moment, but things got a lot darker. I became heavily addicted to cocaine. I was consuming 600 euros worth of cocaine every day, if not more. Thousands of euros each week. I was consuming cocaine every day. 4 days a week, sitting surrounded by career criminals. A gangster approached me. He said he could help me clear my debt. I was all ears. Clear my debt? He then proceeded to offer me a contract. A contract to kill someone. I'd love to tell you in this moment I said no instantly. I was 29 years old. I was lost. I was broken. I was spiritually bankrupt. I was living the rule. Have no feelings, show no emotion. I lived inside that question for a week. The most horrendous question I could ever ask myself. Am I a killer? Am I going to kill someone for money? And then a whisper came. You're not a killer. So I refused this offer. I'd like to say I stopped in that moment. I didn't. Let me set the scene. The amount of cocaine I was taking, being awake for 5 days continuously at a time, was my daily week, my weekly week, my routine. Picture this, an apartment in Dublin, curtains drawn, complete darkness. I didn't know if it was daytime, nighttime. I didn't care if I lived or died. Still, having no feelings, showing no emotion. Then the substances ran out. Alcohol was gone, cocaine was gone, cigarettes were gone. And in that moment, in close to 2 decades of living the way I was living, silence came. And I heard a voice, clearly. You haven't had a feeling or an emotion since you were 11 years old. A rush of awareness, a moment of clarity, rock bottom, spiritual awakening. Many ways to frame this. But I went home and I slept for 24 hours after being awake for so long. I woke up, reached for my laptop, and I found a local meeting. I walked into this meeting and I instantaneously felt home. My first ever meeting. I spoke openly, I spoke honestly, and I spoke transparently for the first time in my life. I got a sponsor, worked a 12-step program, and I haven't had a drink or a drug in 7 years. My life is built on this bedrock, on this foundation of sobriety and recovery. But it was only the beginning. This is a picture of me in the biggest Irish paper in Ireland, men's coaching in Ireland. I've been in the paper many times for many different things, but this is the one that I feel most accomplished with. The seed was planted in rural Ireland, men's work. I'd never heard of it. I went down, I spent 5 days with 30 men. I seen them sit in circle. I seen vulnerability. I seen raw emotion. No bravado, no masks, no games, no judgment. This medicine lives with me, lives inside of me. The seed was planted. That seed has now become my life's work. My life's work is men's work. I've traveled the world doing men's work. And what is men's work? It's to be seen, heard, supported, witnessed, no judgment. It's the exact opposite of having no feelings and showing no emotion. I've worked in the Middle East, America, all across Europe, every county in Ireland. This is me, supporting another man with his feelings, with his emotions. And I can only facilitate this work because I participate in this work. This is my whole life. And on these weekends, we make agreements. We make agreements to be integral. We make agreements on how we speak. These agreements are not just for a weekend for me. My life is built on integrity in every moment. How I speak, how I walk, how I think, how I act, how I breathe. Men's work is my whole entire life, not just weekends. My name is David Patrick Farrell. I believe in men's work, and I know men's work works. And the one thing that's really interesting when I go to different countries, no matter the country, no matter what culture, no matter what language, there's 3 things that stand out to me. Every man I'm working with. He wants to be seen, he wants to be heard, and he wants to be witnessed. And men's work does that. There's many different ways to do it, many different ways, the styles of doing it. But essentially, what's happening is this man's life changes. And when this man's life changes, he elevates. His family changes. His community changes. Society changes. And the collective changes. We can change generations with this work. I know I said I believe in it, but I know this work works because I do this work. I'm grateful to be a global leader, traveling the world, showing up for different men, in different spaces, in different places, in different countries, in different time zones, with different languages. There's no barrier when it comes to this work. Thank you.